All right, so you guys have answered the question in section 2 of your notes before you've moved on to this, right? Section 2 was determined to find his purpose. So you should have done that before you're in this part. And so here's that genie and all the words that he was thinking of as that genie appeared to him in his dream. And let's go to the next section. As we read this next section, it's the same question. What is this section mostly about? So that's your purpose for reading this. On the trail of his purpose, Selig's senses sharpened. He noted the nod and toddle of tulips in the wind, the sway and swagger of tree branches. How, at evening, the light dimmed to announce the arrival of twilight and stars. Dusk, Selig noted, adding that short and enchanting word to his collection. But in time, Selig's steps grew heavy. Under the weight of so many words, it was harder and harder to move. He was shuffling and shambling when he might have been rambling and ambling. Perhaps what he needed to do was lighten his load. But how? Throw words away? Waste them? Impossible! They were far too precious. Selig was too tired to think. His exhausted brain could imagine but one thing: slumber. A splendid word. Sadly, he was too sleepy to write it down. In front of Selig stood a large and lovely tree. He removed his jacket, stuffed like his mama's strudel, with words. Tenderly, he hung each word on its own separate branch, as if putting it to bed for the night. With a sip of cream soda and a nibble of honeyed apple, Selig clambered, then curled into a crook of the tree. Snug, he thought, and he fell directly to sleep. Comfortably cradled there, he dreamed of his mama, his mission, and macaroons, his favorite cookie. During the night, a pacing poet, unable to sleep for want of a word, found himself under the same tree, gazing hopelessly at the moon. Night after night, he'd been struggling to find the right words to describe it. Suddenly, mysteriously, a swirling wind blew up. 4 of Selig's words sailed off their branches. Reaching skyward, the distracted poet caught them. Discarding the word macaroon, he held tightly to lozenge, lemon, and licorice. The moon, he wrote in his notebook, growing more and more excited with each word, melted like a lemon lozenge in the licorice sky. My stars, the poet shouted. Exultant. That's it. The following morning, Selig awoke to what could only be called a rhapsody of birds and words. The poet was reading his newest poem aloud, a poem chock-a-block with Selig's words. Wiping the sleep crumbs from his eyes, Selig scrambled down the tree and saluted the poet. Your poem, he told him, contains some of my favorite words. How beautifully you use them. Why, thank you. For once the words just seemed to come to me. Upon my word! How lucky I am! What, may I ask, is your name? I should like to dedicate my poem to you. For a moment, Selig hesitated. Then, suddenly, for the first time ever, he proudly proclaimed, "They call me Wordsworth." It was then that Selig realized his mission. It was spreading the word, sharing his words with others. Now go and answer in the next section of your notes. Let's see, you're in section 3, I believe. Let's see. Yes, section 3. What was this section mostly about?